that could just put us back or put us in a corporation. You know we ain't in a situation. Can you guarantee that your daughter could get a job at this radio station? But if you own this radio station, you could guarantee that. That's what I'm... And
so let me play that last part again, because this is where he's still talking about the connection. So listen to what he's saying here, and I agree 100%. Most of the solutions to the most complex problems that exist in your life are actually very simple. What is complicated is not the solution itself. What is complicated is getting everyone to change our habits so that we can all pursue the solution together. That's the hard part, right? So it's like when I wanted to lose weight, it wasn't complicated for me to figure out what to do. All I have to do is make sure I get up and run every day. But the complicated part is getting me to actually do it. So listen to this. Let's listen to what Kanye had to say. Let's back it up.
As oil people, you know we don't know nobody that got a nice house. You know we don't know nobody with paper like that we could go to when we down. You know that could just put us back or put us in a corporation. You know we ain't in a situation. Can you guarantee that your daughter could get a job at this radio station? But if you own this radio station, you could guarantee that.
Right. So, you know, I think Kanye ended his statement on a very good note. You know, it's that last part about owning something. You know, I think the number one word for black people, the most important word for black people in the 21st century should be the word ownership. Ownership. You're not doing well just because you make a lot of money. Making a lot of money doesn't mean anything if you don't own anything and you don't keep the money that you get. If you make a lot of money and you can't keep that money and grow that money, then you might as well have never had that money. You should be embarrassed that you had that money if you can't grow that money and keep that money. So ultimately, you know, I think that we have to sort of reshape what success looks like. Like Kanye mentioned, you know, Rick Ross having a Bentley and him having a Sprinter van and all that stuff. The Sprinter vans are like the real nice Mercedes vans or whatever that you can sleep in. That's not a symbol of success. That's a symbol that you make money, most likely, or a symbol that you have the ability to access money, maybe other people's money. That's what that says, right? Having a nice car means either I make a lot of money or I've been able to access somebody else's money. That does not say that I'm able to keep my money and that I'm actually able to own something. So, and even me telling you that I own the Bentley or own the Sprinter van, that still only says so much. It does say that I've been able to keep enough money to go buy this Bentley, which, like most cars, is going to be a depreciating asset. What really is impressive to me is when somebody understands the keys to wealth building so they know how to grow money. Growing money is just like being a gardener. Gardeners are able to grow food because they have a specific understanding of which seeds to plant, how to water that seed, and how to grow. They can grow the corn, they can grow the squash, they can grow the tomatoes. They learn these things. So somebody who knows how to grow money is somebody who says, oh, I know exactly what I need for my seed capital. I know how to grow real estate holdings. I know how to grow stocks and bonds. I know how to grow a small business. These are specific skills that you learn over time. So everybody... you know, in Black America, in my opinion, and beyond, and Black people all over the world, every single person should make sure their children have the specific skills necessary to grow and own their own property, their own assets, their own institutions. Because that last point Kanye made, he hit it out the park. He hit the nail right on the head. You can't, no matter how many years you work at that radio station, you can't guarantee your child a job at that radio station. But if you own that radio station, then you become the economic god because you get to decide who gets acknowledged and who doesn't, who gets a promotion and who doesn't, who gets a raise and who doesn't, who gets to be on the air and who doesn't. You get to decide all of that. So the goal is not to play the game and to win the game. The goal is to create the game and to control the game. If you create the game and control the game, it's like when we were little and we played this game called Dungeons and Dragons. And me and all my nerdy friends used to do that. And in Dungeons and Dragons, there was a person that you had these little imaginary characters. They would go through these adventures, and different things would happen. But the thing was, one person got to be the dungeon master. So that means that if I was like a wizard or a warrior, and, you know, and we all had different characters. One person would be like a dwarf, the other person would be an elf, somebody else would be the wizard or whatever, and we would go on these journeys. The one person, though, would be the dungeon master. The dungeon master is the one who gets to decide what happens in the dungeon. He's the one that gets to decide whether you're going to run into a dragon in the next scene, or if you're going to run into a village where they have fresh food in the next scene, right? Or if he gets to decide your odds of living or your odds of dying. So when it comes to a lot of this, when it comes to economics, we live in the matrix. We live in the matrix, and there are the people that are trying to survive in the matrix, trying to keep their head above water, making away when they can, temporary layoffs, good times, right? Just easy credit, rip-offs, just trying to get by. So you got the people that are in the matrix trying to make it through the matrix, and then you got the people who are the dungeon masters. These are the people who own assets. These are the people who own businesses. These are the people who own stocks and bonds. These are the people who make the rules in America. So ultimately, train your children to do that, and I think they'll have a lot more happiness in life, because what I have found is that even when I'm the boss of a company that doesn't make very much money, that has felt more satisfying than to be a high-level employee in a company where I was being paid a whole lot more. Freedom is priceless. Freedom is the best feeling in the world, and the best thing about freedom is that you can help other people. It's easier for you to say, I'm going to give my cousin a job, or I want to, this kid over here, I want to make an investment in this particular neighborhood. Like, for example, with my company, we decided that we want to go to this area of Louisville, Kentucky, the California neighborhood, and we want to start buying some property in that neighborhood because we think that we can help do some black gentrification there. And it was nice to be able to say, okay, let's do it. Let's go for it. Let's apply our intellectual energy and our resources toward trying to go buy some property in this area so that we can see what we can do in this space, right? Or young people. We have an internship program where we bring in young people. I like to teach. And I said, I really want to teach young people. So bring in a few interns, and train them. Let's train them up. Let's work with them, right? So the thing is that when you have that freedom and you own something, you can shape the world into what you want it to be, as opposed to simply having to accept a world that was shaped by somebody else. So anyway, let me remind you guys, if you haven't taken a look in the black stock market